Welcome back once again. In the previous video I have discussed about the machinery and enzymes. In that I have discussed about the important features of DNA replication, the key enzymes which carry out the process of DNA replication, the energy requirement and the RNA primer. Now this video is in continuation of the earlier topic or earlier video. Now here, in case of the living cell, simplest let us say in case of E. coli bacteria, the process of replication, it requires a set of catalyst, that is the enzyme, and these enzymes I have discussed in the previous video. Different enzymes I have discussed here, and the enzyme which is mainly responsible for the polymerization of the DNA chain is called as DNA dependent DNA polymerase. Means what? Over here, with the help of a parental DNA or template DNA, a new strand or chain of DNA is synthesized. Means over here, who is catalyzing the polymerization of new chain? That is the DNA itself. And earlier we have discussed that DNA replication is semi-conservative. Why semi-conservative? Because 50%, that is out of two chain, one chain is the parental one and only one chain is the new or otherwise the complementary chain which is synthesized here. Now whatever enzymes are that I have discussed, these enzymes are highly efficient. Why they are efficient? Because they catalyze the process of elongation or otherwise polymerization of DNA chain in a very short time. If you consider the example of E. coli bacteria, we have discussed in the beginning of the chapter that it has 4.6 multiplied into 10 to the power 6 base pair in the DNA chain. That means the E. coli bacteria is having a DNA which has this many base pair. When we compare that to human being, we are having 6.6 multiplied into 10 to the power 9 base pairs. So if we have to write, let us say million, billion like that. So we can write for bacteria that they are having 4.6 million base pair. Same thing when we talk about human being has 6.6 trillion, or billion will come. No, billion will come here. 10 to the power 6 is million and 10 to the power 9 is billion. That means 6.6 billion base pairs are present in the diploid content of human DNA. Now in case of here E. coli bacteria, I was talking that it takes only 18 minutes to synthesize a long DNA chain of E. coli bacteria, which is how many? 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pair gets completed in 18 minutes. That means on an average, what will be the rate of polymerization here? That will be approximately equal to 2000 base pair per second. Means every second 2000 base pairs are being polymerized in the DNA chain. That is the new strand of the DNA chain. That is complementary chain over here. Not only this, the process of polymerization is fast. Along with that, the catalyst over here, means the enzyme that are responsible here to catalyze the process of polymerization of the DNA chain, they are also accurate. They are so accurate that if suppose that some mistakes are left, then that is going to result into some or the other kind of mutation. And DNA dependent DNA polymerase that I have discussed earlier in the video, many other enzymes are required, that also I have discussed here. The two strands of the DNA get separated, as a result of which what happens? The two original DNA or parental DNA act as a template which guide the synthesis of the new or complementary chain of the DNA. And the part of the DNA which is, you can say, separated from each other, and the DNA synthesis of the two new complementary chains are synthesized. So that part over here in this figure you can note down, this is called as or referred to as a replication fork over here. Replication fork here. So what happens here, let us say that again consider this chain that is running from, let us say, 5 to 3 direction, from top to bottom it is coming. So this is bluish line. The red line that you can see is the DNA chain which is newly synthesized. So when a new chain of DNA is synthesized, the direction is always 5' to 3' because the new nucleotides are added only onto the third carbon of the pentose sugar. As a result of that, the direction is mentioned as 5' to 3' over here. 5' to 3'. And on the other strand, parental DNA is running from 3 to 5 over here, and as a result of that, what happens here, the DNA chain has to be synthesized from opposite direction, that is 5' to 3'. So unless and until part of the DNA chain has got separated, the synthesis cannot take place. So what happens here, the DNA synthesis is discontinuous. When small fraction or fragment of the DNA has got separated, parental DNA has got separated, then what happens, RNA primer attaches and then the DNA, new chain of DNA is synthesized. So small fragments are synthesized which are referred as Okazaki fragment. Later on they need to be sealed or otherwise joined with each other with the help of DNA ligase enzyme. Now over here one thing is important to understand as to how replication takes place, how replication starts. So the point at which the replication start actually is called as origin of replication. Double chain of the DNA or double helix of the DNA is present and a small, you can say, separation of the two chains starts. And that point at which this separation starts is called as origin of replication. From this origin of replication, the DNA synthesis takes place in both the direction. DNA synthesis takes place in both the direction here. And over here, that's why it is referred as bidirectional. In the feature I have discussed in the earlier video, it is called as what? DNA replication is called as bidirectional because it takes place in both the direction, but that both direction will be starting from origin of replication. When we discuss about biotechnology, in which what happens, the gene, foreign gene is inserted into bacterial plasmids. So these plasmids which are used as a vector so that a foreign gene, let us say human gene, can be inserted into the plasmid, and when these plasmids are inserted into bacterial cells, inside the bacterial cell what happens, these plasmid DNA are inserted which are responsible or which carry certain genes of our interest, or desired gene has been inserted so that we can get some product which are produced by the bacterial cell. At that time we will be discussing about as to what is a vector or what is the requirement of a vector. And those vectors which are used or plasmids which are used as a vector, the main feature or main criteria or the condition that it should possess is this origin of replication. Unless and until this origin of replication is present, it cannot carry out the DNA synthesis and it will not be of any use to us. Later on what happened, in eukaryotic organism also replication has been understood, and it has been found that this process of DNA replication takes place at the time of S phase, that is S phase of the cell cycle. And here the replication of DNA and the cell cycle are highly coordinated. It is highly coordinated here. And if suppose that a cell has already undergone the nuclear division, the DNA has been synthesized, the nucleus has divided already into two, but the cytoplasmic division does not take place, let us say. So in that condition, what will happen? More than one set of chromosome can be present in the cell, and that is going to lead to what the condition, or that is going to result into the term that is called as polyploidy. Means what? Let us say 1 and only should have been there, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and what we have discussed in case of plants. So the flowers, the fruits, they become large sized. So that is a result of polyploidy here. That is because the cell division has not taken place after the DNA replication has taken place. So that was about some part of the requirement, again connected with the requirement as to how DNA synthesis has to take place. In the next video, I will be discussing about the process as to how DNA replication takes place. Thank you.